Ukrainian forces eliminated a column of Russian tanks and infantry fighting vehicles attempting to breach their defensive lines in the Kharkiv region. The 3rd Separate Assault Brigade, which led the defense, reported the operation on Saturday, February 8. According to the brigade, the offensive was launched by units of Russia's elite Kantemirovskaya 4th Tank Division, part of the 1st Tank Army. Russian troops attempted to advance near the settlement of Pershotravnev, but were met with fierce resistance. The Russians advanced with a column of tanks and infantry fighting vehicles, supported by a buggy. However, after coming under fire from Ukrainian artillery, the enemy lost the first 2 infantry fighting vehicles while attempting to cross. The brigade's statement does not specify which crossing the equipment sank, the unit said in a statement. Then, attack drones came into play. The brigade's FPV drones struck the convoy along its route. Enemy infantry was forced to disembark prematurely from armored vehicles, after which they were eliminated by drone strikes and artillery fire. As a result of the attack, 10 Russian armored vehicles were destroyed, 10 soldiers were killed, and 10 others were injured. Among the destroyed equipment was an armored recovery vehicle ARV, sent to retrieve the damaged Russian vehicles. The 3rd Assault Brigade also released video footage of another Russian armored column being destroyed near the village of Vishnev in the Kharkiv region on Saturday, February 8, though specific details and timing of the engagement were not disclosed. The situation in the Kharkiv region remains critical as Russian forces continue their attempts to seize new territories. However, on January 12, Yevgeny Romanov, a spokesperson for Ukraine's Kharkiv Operational Tactical Group, said that Russian forces had reduced their attacks in the Kharkiv sector, according to Ukrinform. "I believe this decrease is because they are now concentrating on other areas of the front and cannot operate effectively in the Kharkiv region," Romanov said, adding that their focus had shifted to the Russian forces' right flank. Ukraine has launched a new offensive in the Kursk Oblast, according to reports from the Russian Ministry of Defense and Russian mill bloggers on Telegram. Russian sources say Ukrainian troops attacked southeast of Sudzha, moving toward the settlements of Fanasayevka and Ulanok. The Zapisky Veterana Telegram channel estimated that the advancing Ukrainian units include around 500 personnel and 50 armored vehicles. Meanwhile, fighting in the Rilsk region has damaged a gas pipeline, triggering a fire and forcing a shutdown that left 2 settlements without gas, Kursk Oblast Governor Alexander Kinstein reported. Russian troops have reportedly lost control over Cherkasskaya Konopelka, while mill blogger Alex Parker Returns said that Ukrainian forces captured Ulanok. He described the offensive as beginning like a bolt from the blue. According to the war correspondents of the Russian Spring Telegram channel, Ukrainian forces started the operation early in the morning Thursday with demining efforts, followed by armored groups advancing from the Makhnovka side, flanking Cherkasskaya Konopelka, and moving toward Ulanok. After 2 p.m. Kyiv time, the Russian Defense Ministry responded, stating, "Since the morning of February 6, Ukrainian armed formations have been launching counteroffensive actions toward the settlements of Cherkasskaya Konopelka and Ulanok in Kursk Oblast." The report claimed that the AFU deployed up to 2 mechanized battalions on armored vehicles, and assault groups launched several waves of attacks in the area. The Russian Defense Ministry said that its North Group of troops identified the Ukrainian forces, and with aviation support, inflicted fire damage on the assault groups. By 2 p.m., the ministry claimed that Ukrainian attacks had been repelled and that the settlements were back under Russian control. The Russian ministry also reported that Ukraine had lost 6 tanks, 3 obstacle clearance vehicles, 3 infantry fighting vehicles, and 14 armored combat vehicles. However, the Ukrainian General Staff did not mention counteroffensive actions in the Kursk region in its report at 4 p.m. Kiev time, stating instead that Ukrainian defenders had repelled 3 Russian attacks. The report added that, since the morning, the Russians had carried out 26 airstrikes, dropped a total of 40 guided aerial bombs on Ukrainian positions in populated areas, and launched 287 artillery attacks. As of the end of January, Ukrainian forces controlled 442 square kilometers, 170 square miles, of the Kursk region, almost 3 times less than at the peak of the offensive that began in August, when they occupied 1,300 square kilometers, 503 square miles, within 2 weeks. During January, experts from the Institute for the Study of War, ISW, reported that the Russian army had managed to recapture approximately 40 square kilometers, 15 square miles. Russian forces have suffered nearly 40,000 casualties, including over 16,000 killed, in the 6 months since Ukraine launched its Kursk offensive on August 6, 2024, according to the Ukrainian General Staff.